you also believe that Africa is the future, and you say for better or worse. Okay, so see, and you talked about vision alignment. So I want to link this with one question I ask people. I ask them, what is your vision for Africa in 30 years? Okay, so tell us why or how you believe that Africa is the future.
How? Yeah, as you said, I state for better or worse.
Yes, for better or worse. In fact, I want you to talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for me, it's an urgency. It's like a call to urgent action. Yeah. And the truth is that when I started thinking about this, we have a lot of problems. People do not have access. We need to change something. That's quite early on when I came to Ghana. Yeah. And I had no clue on how to solve anything or how this could be changed. But I knew that even if I believe that it will not work out well, at least you have to try. So that's the starting point. So, and as I try, I do not really, deep down, I see certain things and I'm like, this is not going to work out. But what can you do? You can't give up. But as I went through that phase, and then eventually I went out of Ghana back to Europe to do my MBA. And then once I had some distance, I started to, okay, it's not, I mean, sometimes you over romanticize, you now start to think everything is so bad and everything is so great on the other side. And then you also start to see, okay, a lot of the things that I see in Ghana is just human nature. But it's activated because of the circumstances, the stage of development, the access that we spoke about. So it's not necessarily the people, it's the circumstances. So yes. So now with some distance, I'm like, okay, there's something that can be done. And the next thing was, who should take up the responsibility? It is us that have the privileges of access that need to be the first to take up that mantle, to broaden that access, give others opportunities that can solve. So now, as I came back, I still don't have a recipe, so I just started out. But what gives me hope more and more and more is that the more that I go down that path, the more I find relatively like-minded people, but at least people with a similar vision of a prosperous Africa, an Africa that can create its own solution, an Africa that ultimately will not just contribute to a better Africa, but to a better world. The more you go, the more you see, the people are out there, and these people are brilliant as anywhere else in the world, if not more, because of the circumstances, because it forces you to almost do everything. You can't just be an expert. You might be an engineer, but if you want to succeed in Africa, you must be a storyteller, you must be a lawyer, you must do everything to an extent to get there. So you see that kind of thing. So my vision, especially when you say for 30 years, it's kind of a difficult one, because I see that I have hope, a lot of hope, or even more than hope. But I probably think we are probably talking about an 80-year time span or something of that sort. But if we do not apply that urgency now, then even that 80 years, it's not going to happen. Yeah. So the vision for me is really just that through technology, through increased platforms and telling the stories of ourselves, that these people that to an extent are non-systemic, because our system is not producing the problem solvers, that these non-systematic problem solvers eventually create the platforms where they are being heard, create companies where people can see that it works, and where they can make the difference, and it's just being a matter of critical mass. So that's how I'm looking at it. But again, as I told you earlier, I'm trying to look at it from where I'm standing now.
Yeah.
Of course, I understand the leadership components, the political components, and everything, but I cannot envision it. I don't know what is the lever. I don't know how and when, maybe somewhere.
Okay. So look at it this way. Yes, it's difficult to envision it, but what do you want to see?
What I want to see, I mean, simply put, I mean, you mentioned education, so it's really like that human capacity development at the core.
Yeah.
And by you putting that at the core, there's a lot of other things. It's not just the formal. It's like once you put education at the core, people would want to understand their environment. People would want to understand their history. People would want to breathe clean air. People would want to be healthier. And so it's really just surrounding that, driving education, broaden it first and foremost. But I think once you broaden, naturally,
everything will happen.
There will be people that rise to the top. So it's really is that building out, at least number one, like, yes, the base education. And I think number two, building kind of an understanding of what it means to be Ghanaian, or what it means to be African, maybe in the larger context. I think that's kind of
okay. That's good.